The path to a 200-bed homeless services center in Riverton seems much more clear today. This comes after the results of a referendum question looked to reduce the capacity of some homeless shelters in Portland. News Center Maine's Sean Stackhouse has the latest on what's next.
I think that the voters have spoken.
Portland residents voting in support of the 200-bed homeless services center set for Riverside Street in a high-stakes referendum that looked to reduce capacity in emergency shelters in the city to 50 beds.
This is the quickest path to getting out of the situation that we've got with the rented Oxford Street facility and into a permanent facility on city-owned land.
Voters in Portland seeing three options in the city's lone referendum question. Option A, which called for a 50-bed capacity on emergency shelters, received 31% of the vote. Option B, written by the city, would lower shelter capacity to 150 beds and received 28% of the vote, while option C, which would keep the current rules in place, received 41% of the vote, for now clearing the path for the city and its chosen developer to build the new homeless services center.
We're a city that cares. We want to meet people's needs. There's a lot of services and shelters out there. This larger emergency shelter proposal clearly has the community's support.
But not all agree.
Regardless of the vote, I'm still extremely concerned about this 208-bed shelter.
Carolyn Silvius was a volunteer with Smaller Shelters for Portland, the group behind Option A. 5 years ago, she experienced homelessness in Portland for 10 months. She's concerned the facility won't have proper staffing and could be too far away.
I'm really afraid that the homeless will consider it too far away from the services that they need to have, like jobs and doctors.
However, the shelter is slated to have other services like a soup kitchen, housing assistance, job assistance, and other wraparound services there. Mayor Snyder hopes this can make an impact soon.
So people who are experiencing the need for emergency shelter won't have to go looking. They'll be able to access GA and other services right there at the center.
But it remains unclear when construction will begin on that shelter. In Portland, Sean Stackhouse, News Center, Maine.
Earlier this week, the City Council voted in favor of lease agreements with Developers Collaborative, which has been selected to build the site. Mayor Schneider says there is still some planning that has to take place, and the city and developers are expected to be doing outreach with community members, service providers, and more before any construction begins.